Welcome to the video about Care Act duties on assessment of need. Please note that we have other videos about this topic on the Sky website, along with other resources and a handout with key messages and reflective questions to support and embed the learning. My name is Paula, and with me today is June. Hi, June.
Hello, Paula.
Hiya. So in previous videos, we've explored the importance of the starting point of an assessment being the need to gather an understanding of what the individual wishes to achieve in their day-to-day life. So, their personal and their desired outcomes. So this may have been previously recorded by another social care practitioner before you begin your conversation and your relationship with the individual. And so it's not necessary for you to get the individual to retell that part of their story, but it is important that the social care practitioner checks in with the individual and makes sure that the desired and personal outcomes that are recorded are still relevant. So when we've established or at least begun to understand what the individual's personal and desired outcomes are, we can begin to explore how they are currently trying to achieve it. So this is taking a strengths-based approach without even referring to it as being one. So we're beginning to look first at what a person can do to enable them to achieve the things that are important to them. So June, you previously mentioned that you feel that a good day for you is when you're empowered, when you feel that you can make a difference and contribute to the world that's around you. So what kind of things do you need to happen on a day by day basis so that you can go to bed at night feeling empowered and that you're able to make a difference and contribute to the world that's around you?
Okay, thank you. It's a big question. I need to feel confident. I think confidence matters a lot to how I contribute to various things. And for me, confidence is and empowerment are very close. They're part of they're one part of the other. And it's to do with self-esteem. So I know that I cease functioning so well if I start doubting my abilities. So my esteem is affected, then I actually don't have that good day. So what I think is I need for me to have the opportunities to gain my self-esteem, to gain my confidence, to do things that are important to me, but to my world, as it were, to my whole world. So family and various, community people and things like that. So I think that doing this, for example, is one of the things that is building on my confidence. So I'm doing this recording as a resource, and I hope that will then support the learning of social work practitioners, social care practitioners. And I just think if I'm doing, which now a lot happens on Zoom, if I'm actually developing the learning of students, which I do as a practice educator, which I trained as, I just feel that is making a contribution, and that will mean that my self-esteem will go up a lot, and I shall feel, yeah, what did I achieve today? So that would be important. I think it's that making sure that you could facilitate or enable me in the way of giving me getting opportunities to demonstrate to myself that I can do things, that I actually am not, which I used to think at one time was that I just couldn't do anything and didn't have the confidence. So I'm just thinking aloud about the opportunities that are given in my day-to-day life, that give me that opportunity, that catch me doing things well rather than not doing things well, which can actually impact completely the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And so, when we're having a conversation around how an individual is currently trying to achieve their desired and their personal outcomes, difficulties will begin to emerge as a natural part of that conversation. And so, as the social care practitioner, I'd been noting down, using the person's own words, what those difficulties are that are beginning to emerge. So, I'm still actively listening to the individual and enabling them to have that time to share with me, what's important, what the difficulties are, and then I would revisit those at an appropriate point of the conversation. So June's mentioned that empowerment and contribution is important to her, but that can start to be ebbed away when she's doubting herself. So she's doubting her abilities. So when you do start to feel that you're doubting yourself, June, what do you do to try and overcome that?
Well, I need to place this in the context of my worldview, my values, all of that. Now, I've changed significantly my belief system, if you like.
Okay.
So I will not, if I'm tempted to think negatively about what person did, something that happened, and if I think negatively about it, I will absorb it as it being my fault.
Yeah.
I actually now go the other way and think positively, and not just about that situation, but actually feeling, okay, so that happened, but giving gratitude for that learning opportunity. Something happened that actually may seem negative and uncomfortable, but I then express gratitude to myself for actually learning something from it, and that's worked quite remarkably well in relationships, in all sorts of things, which actually keeps me then from feeling a failure.
Yeah. Fantastic. So one of your biggest strengths there then, June, is that you develop that ability to have insight for yourself and to give yourself that space and opportunity to sit and reflect and think, okay, what can I learn from this situation? Might not have been pleasant going through it, but I will have been able to learn something through it. So that's, absolutely fantastic. Thank you. So when we're having a conversation with an individual through an assessment, whether we're looking at what a person's outcomes, desired outcomes, personal outcomes are, or whether we're starting to explore some of the difficulties that an individual may be having towards reaching those outcomes, it'll help both myself and the individual to understand the extent and the severity of the individual needs or requirements, as is June's preferred reference to it. And so this will help me as the social care practitioner to begin to think about what may be an appropriate and proportionate way to support the individual to achieve their personal and desired outcomes. So the whole assessment conversation provides the social care practitioner with an opportunity to ask the individual, what they think might be important to them, what they think might be an opportunity or a solution to the difficulty that they're facing. The social care practitioner can reflect on their own previous experience and knowledge of perhaps working with individuals where circumstances may be similar and what worked for them. So the assessment conversation provides the social care practitioner with the opportunity to provide, again, these words, appropriate and proportionate information, okay, complementing this with advice that's been borne out of social care practitioners' understanding of the individual that we're working with. It provides us with an opportunity to share any resources that might be available in the community, which the individual could access independently or with support, and which may take them on their journey towards the change that they're hoping to achieve. The assessment process is a two-way conversation, okay? And in having that two-way conversation, the sharing of information, the sharing of ideas, it also might trigger something further in the individual's own mind as a potential opportunity or solution that can then be added to the mix of potential decisions that we can make moving forward, so that we've got a good array of opportunities that then the individual can make a decision as to what would be the best fit for them. Thank you for listening. Remember to check further resources and other videos on this and other themes at the Sky website. Thank you so much for your time, June.